What's up, people? Thank you as always for passing by the channel. Much appreciated. Hit that subscribe button if you guys are new. All right, so the IBF look like they're about to force, it seems anyway, force Josh Warrington to face his mandatory, which happens to be Kid Galahad. Yeah, that drug cheating motherfucker, Kid Galahad. Remember the guy that said his brother spiked his drink or something, but that was in the past. He's moved on. I think he does do drug testing now, so I'm going to leave that in the past. But I had to mention it because I think people might have forgotten that a bit. He did cheat. He's not the only one. A lot of people cheat. But regardless, I had to mention it. Initially, there was talk about Josh Warrington going to America. Josh Warrington said after the fight that he wants to go to America. There was talk about Oscar Valdez fighting the winner of Josh Warrington versus Carl Frampton. So those are the fights that he wanted. He wanted Valdez. He wanted Gary Russell Jr. He wanted a shot at Leo Santa Cruz. And you can't blame him. This guy's beat Lee Selby. He's beat Carl Frampton. In a sense, and I don't mean to be disrespectful to Kid Galahad, he's taking a step down, isn't he? He's taking a step down based on who Kid Galahad has fought. He wants a big money fight in Vegas against one of those three. But it looks like the IBF has said, absolutely not. You're going to fight your mandatory. Remember, Carl Frampton was a voluntary, so they've let him have one voluntary already, and now they're saying you have to fight your mandatory. The IBF, by the way, don't fuck about. I'll be honest with you, other sanctioning bodies, WBO, WBA, WBC, you can kind of get away with it a bit. The IBF don't fuck about. And let's be honest, it's a matchroom fighter as well. So Eddie Hearn will be on their case to make sure that Josh Warrington versus Kid Galahad happens. As for the fight itself, as much as I just did call Kid Galahad a drug cheater and all that kind of stuff, aside from that, I think Kid Galahad is a very, very good boxer. I know he gets a lot of stick on social media. That's because of what he does outside, all that shit with Billy Joe Saunders. But in terms of his boxing ability, this guy can box. Like, there's no two ways about it. He can box. I think he's wasted a lot of time. Obviously, he had a little suspension because of the drug ban. He's now coming back. He looks good. He's sharp. He picks his punches well. And again, he's come from that Winklebank gym, so he's got something a bit special about him. I did say in a video ages ago that I think Kid Galahad would cause problems to the likes of Scott Quigg and Carl Frampton. Even Carl Frampton. And Carl Frampton wasn't interested in the fight, and I can't blame Carl Frampton for not being interested. Scott Quigg wanted the fight, but Carl Frampton is probably thinking, Kid Galahad who? Whereas Josh Warrington against Kid Galahad, I didn't really think about. Number one, because I thought Carl Frampton would beat him. I thought Lee Selby would beat him. So I never ever thought we were going to get to a situation where we get Josh Warrington versus Kid Galahad. But in terms of styles, trust me, Kid Galahad would have preferred to have fought Lee Selby or Carl Frampton. He doesn't want, I mean, he'll be confident in this one, but I don't think he wants Josh Warrington. That's not a style that I think would suit him. Josh Warrington, like I said in the video after Frampton, is a nightmare. Like, stylistically, it's just, he's awkward for anyone just because he throws so many punches and his gas tank is just, I can't think of a boxer from 130 up that has a better gas tank. I mean, he fights round 12 like it's round 1. So stylistically for Kid Galahad, I think Frampton, Selby and Scott Quigg would have been easier than Josh Warrington. It's a fight that will happen on BT Sport, obviously. And I think it's a good fight. I think it's an exciting fight. Kid Galahad will be up for it. Josh Warrington will be up for it. It's kind of a derby when you think about their area, Sheffield, Leeds. It'll be an interesting one. And as much as I do want to see Josh Warrington take on some of the big American names that I just mentioned, I wouldn't mind seeing this one. There's nothing better than an all-British fight for me. Nothing beats it. So I wouldn't mind seeing this one. And if it does happen, I do favour Josh Warrington, but I'm not sleeping on Kid Galahad whatsoever. He's unbeaten. He looks impressive. And I think finally, he gets a shot, right? Finally. It's his own fault because of what happened, but finally he gets a shot. But this isn't a shot that he expected or wanted. But he has been calling out for it now. He's been on social media calling out for it. So fingers crossed it happens. The IBF will make it happen. And Josh Warrington is no way Jose vacating that belt. No way Jose. He wants to be a world champion. He's a proud world champion. And if he gets through Kid Galahad, he has literally cleaned up the British scene in about 9 months. I mean, let's say this fight happens with Kid Galahad in, I don't know, what week? March, April. He's cleaned up the British division in 9 months. Selby, Frampton and Kid Galahad would be ridiculous on his resume. And then he can go and chase the big boys. But what do you guys make of that fight? Interesting one. Kid Galahad, Warrington. Again, I favour Warrington just because of his body of work. but I can't sleep on Kid Galahad. That guy can box, he's spiteful, he's got a bit of a punch as well. So that would be an interesting fight between those two. But Warrington, just for me, will edge it, just based on work rate and work rate alone.